Well, folks, I'm back home. I I did, I, you gotta pardon this video because I'm sorry. I'm not, I'm not really capable, I guess. I don't know. All I know is I tried to do on the road type video for y'all, so it's not going to be spliced together or anything like that. I'm a lot of work trying to splice it together and trying to edit it. I'm not going to. I'm just going to put it all on one um, movie thing and let you watch it as it is. So try to enjoy it, please. We'll talk to you later. Okay, I'm going to try to go back. That other video did not take at all. I've tried to do this four times now, and I put it in my holder and that didn't work. So here goes. I don't know why I'm not supposed to do this, but here goes. Alright, going in. That house right there with the white car in front of it, that used to be the office. This is called Echo Dale. Well, it used to be called Echo Dale Mobile Home Park. It's now Beaver Creek Mobile Home Park. And I'm going to go, and there's one of the, you see how people keep their stuff? Nice truck. A lot of nice cars in here because people can afford their cars because of the rent. Now, that little place is not bad at all. That little place isn't bad. A lot of these places, the people keep it up pretty nice looking. But then you've got a lot of people that don't keep their place looking nice, like that one there. That's nice there. Now that trailer right there, used to be mine. I lived there for 5 years. And this is, some of these places are, you ain't allowed in them. They're do not enter. A lot of people do try to keep their places nice, but a lot of people don't. Right there's where I got sassy. And so yeah. Now there's some nice houses right there. And that's how a lot of people are able to have decent cars and stuff. They go as cheap as they can. Now a lot of these houses, the people lose them when they come in because they can't keep up with the lot rent. Or they got to move or something happens and they can't take their trailer with them. Because when you come in these places, you have to show them your You got to give them a copy of your title and everything. And then if you can't take the if you don't owe no rent and you can't take your trailer with you and you ain't got no place to take it and you abandon it, they resell it. That's why they want the copy of the title. So, but I'm going to end this now. I'm going to try to put it in with the other one. So we'll talk to you later. Okay, folks. Well, that other video didn't turn out. I mean, it's gone. It didn't even, for whatever reason, it's shut down altogether. So I'm going to have to go back to the trailer park and try to re-record it. So, and I got a god-awful headache. Part of it is because of this ponytail. That was one of the reasons why I cut my hair short in the first place. It's because I like wearing my hair up in a ponytail. And in the summertime it gets hot enough that I need to do that. So I'm going to get up here and I'm going to do a quick go through. People were looking at me and wondering what is she doing. But somebody coming to look to see if they can get a spot. So, okay, I'm not supposed to do it. Well, hell. Well, anyway, I don't know. I happened to touch the wrong thing on that video, and it shut my phone down. So here I am. I made it down to the Beaver Creek Park, and anyway, I sitting down here and gonna finish the video. But that was one of the places where, well, that was the very first trailer I owned of my own, and it cost me $1,000, and you could barely see it. It was back in there. It was tan. It used to be blue and white, well, white with blue trim, and but that trailer park used to be a pretty decent place, and but now with the rise in the cost of everything, people can't even but it would be cheaper than going out and renting somebody else's house. But if you owned your own trailer like that and pulled it into a park like that, then it would be better. Now, last time I looked, they wanted $375 a month to sit your own trailer in there. And of course, then you have your electric. I think the water and sewer was separate also. So all told, you'd probably end up spending $700, $800 a month with everything. But as I drove through there and showed you all the empty trailers that other people used to own. And here's the thing about trailer parks. When you first go in and you want to pull your trailer in, you've got to show them the title to your trailer. You've got to show them insurance on your trailer. And you've got to give them a copy. You've got to give them a copy of your title. Because in the end, If you don't pay your rent, your lot rent, and they have to evict you, they keep your trailer. And then they can sell it to somebody else. Somebody else will come in there um, and buy it off of them. And then, of course, and I've seen I don't know how many trailers in there just passing through, on to somebody else. And but a lot of, you've heard the old saying, trailer trash. Well, that is very true with a lot of people. But I've seen it in houses too. That people will hoard furniture and junk and set it all outside their house and pile their house up inside with stuff. And I did a video the other day about uh, being a devil's advocate for landlords because there's a few different kinds of humans out there in this world. And a lot of it is due to the way they're raised. And a lot of them can be raised in a very nice established home and stuff and still end up being trashy. They trash landlords' places. And then people can't understand why the landlords are charging so much rent. All of you people out there that are hollering about how high the prices of rent are, got to look at it from the landlord's perspective. Because they're the ones that have to go in and clean up the mess, the holes in the walls, tearing the doors off, and big stains and burns in the carpets and stuff like that. And the mess that they leave outside. Now, if it's an apartment building, like them great big, uh, like Florida and California and different places have, and they have them different places. New York, these big apartment buildings that they charge anywhere between $2,000 and $3,000 a month for rent, and people don't understand why. Well, because they have renters fees, ownership fees. They've got to belong to some kind of association. I don't know all the ins and outs of it. I'm just talking about what renters do to people's property. And then they can't understand why they can't find a place to live. Take, for instance, okay, I have talked a little bit about homeless people. What causes people to be homeless? Well, a lot of it is because they can't handle life to begin with, so they get themselves on drugs. And people that are on drugs aren't responsible, so they're not going to pay the rent because their money's going to go towards the drugs. And naturally, they end up homeless. And or if they own their own home, they can't pay the mortgage, so the bank takes the home away. So, yeah, you look out there. I'm going to try to put a segment of a video, just a short of what it looks like in different cities with homeless all over the place. They're intense. Some now, a lot of them are in vans and they're in the cars and they're in their RVs and campers because a lot of it because the rent is too high. But I did a video here a few days ago talking about, look, folks, pay your rent first and foremost. Okay, if you've got the money to start out with to get in a place that's $1,500, $2,000 a month rent, then you must have a good enough job to pay the rent. At least pay the rent. But here's the thing. If your job is not going to cover the rent, your electricity, utilities, that sort of thing, and food, then you shouldn't be getting it in the first place. Well, I want a nice place. Well, of course, everybody wants a nice place. But if you can't afford it, you don't do it. Now look at all, there's trees out there. Probably all those trees have squirrels in them and, of course, birds running around out there. And a lot of people want to live like this caretaker there at the park. A lot of people want to live simple like that. But society, you can't live like that in society. You can't live off grid in a house in the city. They expect you to have your electric on. They expect you to have your water on. And they expect you to keep your place clean on the outside anyway. They can't tell you so much on the inside unless you have children. But I recently seen a video that she invited, and she didn't invite, the welfare people were coming over to check, and her explanation that she passed. Oh my God! I've seen bad looking houses before, but this house was a mess. It was a mess, and there is no way that passed the welfare systems guidelines. But here's the thing. First of all, a lot of people don't want to follow rules and regulations that it takes to live in society, that it takes to rent off of people that are wanting to make, that's a business for them. They're making they're making income off of renting out their home. That it took them money to buy that home, and a lot of they're still got a mortgage on it, even. But I don't understand people not wanting to pay the rent. And of course, a lot of you are going to say, "Well, I couldn't pay the rent, or I lost my job during, or something like that." Well, that I do understand. No job is ever secure. I don't care what anybody says. You could lose anybody tomorrow. Trump could lose being a president tomorrow. Things are always subject to change in a heartbeat. So, those trailers that I showed you, they're like that all over the United States. Empty trailers that people couldn't even pay the lot rent. So they gave up the trailer, or they didn't have the money to haul it out of there with, and or no place to take it to. So again, be very vigilant, very intentional with what you want to do with your life. And somebody said on there the other day, one of my favorite subscribers said, so in other words, don't be loose with your money. Rent and bills come first. I did not say anything at all about bills. I said rent comes first. You take so much out of each paycheck till you've got enough for your rent. You divide up your paychecks. Okay, I gotta have out of each one. I would take half out of each paycheck. If you do 4 paychecks, then you do a fourth. You take a fourth out of each one, and you've got it for the full next month's rent, which it will be next month by that time. But if you only do 2 paychecks, then you take half of what you owe on the rent out of the first 2 weeks' paycheck and the other half out of the next 2 paychecks. And then you pay your bills around that and your food and so forth. So that means if your bills, then start reducing your bills. First of all, you don't need cable, because if you want to watch television, all you need is internet and Roku box or a Fire Stick. And you can get anything on that to watch and entertain you that you need. Cable, people pay as high as $200 a month for cable just to watch television. That's too much. You don't need all those subscriptions. Try to reduce your electric bill down. Start being vigilant. Start being intentional. So, well, anyway, I'm going to go. This since the first video cut off, which I'm going to have to put it in on a video maker and send it on to you, but I that distracted me. Let's put it that way. That distracted me, so I feel like I'm running around in circles here and stuff. But remember, merry heart doeth good like a medicine. And if you stay focused on being happy and not let yourself get stressed out, be happy and laugh all the time, then it's going to be easy to sit down and budget out your money so your rent is paid always. And I do not know what they're going to do about the homeless, because you know that just last year they made it against the law to be homeless. So, merry heart doeth good like a medicine, but a broken spirit will dry up your bones. And if you believe you can, or if you believe you can't, you're right either way. So y'all have a great day. Love you all. I hope you get something out of this, because I feel like my brain is scattered all over the place, and that I just rambled on and on and on and on. So, but we'll talk to you later. You have a great day. Love y'all.